All right, welcome to today's yoga class for prenatal. And I'd like us to start in a comfortable seated position. So oftentimes sitting on a blanket or a pillow, it helps the lower hips feel a little more comfortable. But it's of course up to your body and what you feel like today. So just since if this is your first time or not practicing with me, a couple things to keep in mind. One being that the whole point of this whole hour is for you to feel good. I want you to leave here feeling better than when you came in. I want you to have a little fun along the way and relax a little, but ultimately feel better for you and your baby. So if there's something that I say that doesn't feel intuitively right to you, this is your time to practice your mothering intuition and not do it. There are tons of ways to get the same benefit without looking exactly like me or another pregnant person. So I want you to really rely and listen on your body when we do things. Then the second most important thing is that you make an effort to breathe more fully the whole class. Growing a human is hard work, and you are breathing for two. So taking those deep breaths, and even if you were just to sit here and breathe the whole time, you would be doing it 100% correct. So with that, we will get started. Today's theme is on actually our throat chakra, which is communication. So I actually, on purpose, chose not to have a playlist this class because I think that sometimes with a world so full of noise, it's nice to just settle in. So with that, we'll officially open our practice. We'll start in our seated position with our eyes closed. Maybe even shrug the shoulders up and down a couple of times just to kind of relax the body into this space. And if you want to move right and left before we start our breathing, just to awaken slowly this great body of ours. With our eyes closed, we'll start to take a couple deep breaths. We'll go in through the nose, great filter it is, and out through the nose. And in through the nose, and out through the nose. And if you are blessed to be practicing next to a toddler, it's okay to keep one eye open. And it's okay, to do what you can do because it's not, you don't have to feel like you're just come as you are, and that's exactly how you should be. So let's take a couple breaths to really solidify that thought, come as I am, and that's exactly who I should be. Because that's exactly what we want for our babes too to feel, right? Deep inhales, deep exhales. And this time, breathe so deep that you actually feel that belly expanding, that baby getting a little extra oxygen. And exhale. All right, you can open the eyes if you'd like, and we're going to start with a very gentle opening today. We'll just take one ear to one shoulder and open up our necks. Our throat chakra, physically speaking, right, is in this neck region. Let's roll that head around and take it to the other side. And so by just, taking a moment to relax our neck round and round, we create a little more space there. They say like that's where your birth voice roars, that throat. So just taking a moment to open it up. Nice. All right, coming back to center. We'll go ahead and take the shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them all the way down. So purposely bring them up towards the ears and take them down. And try to do that with your breath. Inhale up, exhale down, and inhale up, and exhale down. Nice. One more time. Inhale up, and exhale down. All right, let's start to move a little more, taking some really nice hip circles here. So round and round we go. This is just super nice, gentle way to kind of check in with our hips. In prenatal yoga, I tend not to do very many static poses because there are so many changes happening to your body, hormonally, physically, you know, even mentally. Mom brain is a real thing, that by being more fluid with the movement, let's reverse it, we actually prevent injury and we bring, I guess, more life, and we allow the body to adjust accordingly. All right, one more big circle here. Beautiful. And then we'll do just a couple of rainbow arms. So taking one hand to the ground and raising one up. Depending how your neck feels today, you may look up at the hand or you may look just straight ahead. But we'll go ahead and make it a little bit of a flow by alternating from side to side. And even better yet is if we can add some breath, right? Inhale and exhale to return to center. Inhale to lift and exhale to center. And inhale, lift and exhale to center. Inhale, lift. And if you want, we're going to continue just for a few more breaths. If you feel like you have a little more space now and want to take it a little deeper, listen to that body, and that's totally okay. Right now we're giving space to our side bodies, and also baby, no matter what size baby is, a little bit of a ride too, right? So it's good for both of us. And we'll just do one more on each side, your speed, your way. Nice. And then go ahead and give yourself just a big hug right here. And go right to left, right to left. And say, hey. Close your eyes. No one's judging. No one's looking. When you tell yourself, hey, you're awesome. Thank you for showing up today. The hardest part is over. Now you can enjoy it. You're amazing. Let's open our arms wide. Big inhale, and exhale, cross the arms the other direction. So if your right arm was on top, take your left arm and give yourself one more big hug. Just again, you know, taking it in and saying, yes, I did this. I made this happen. Inhale, open the arms up. And then exhale, now let's bring it to baby. So just, you know, close those eyes one more time. And now we just say, thank you, baby. You're the reason that I could show up today for a prenatal yoga class. You know, just send some love. Baby's with us all the time, 24/7. But just taking a moment to focus just on baby, well, that's special. So this is your time, and this is baby's time too. Thank you. All right, open your eyes, raise the arms up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, open. Nice. This time when we raise it up, inhale, and then rotate your direction of choice and exhale just to open the arms wide. So just a nice open twist here. Big inhale, expand the lungs, straighten the back. Exhale, look over that shoulder. And then inhale, return to center, raise the arms. And exhale, rotate to the opposite side. So again, just create a little more space with that breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. And then inhale, come back to center, arms come up. And exhale, we open. Nice. All right, so let's come to cat-cow and get our practice a little more ramped up here. So if you have any knees, if your knees bother you, I know I'm on a tile floor, so I like to put a little cushion under those knees, but your choice. And once we'll come to all hands and knees here. And Yeah, for Jesse, for you, if your belly, baby's getting bigger, when you look up, if you want to hug baby in to protect your lower spine, or even if you don't have a big belly, right? Like that, if you have low back pain, you just want to hug baby in here and look up and breathe.
I'll answer your questions because I have you on mute because she's making noise in the background. So.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Yeah, no, I thank you. You're good. How are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm good. All right, let's get back to these cat cows. Nice. All right, so let's come back to a nice neutral first. So let's push away from the earth, and then we're gonna let that belly hammock, but if we're experiencing any low back pain, just hug baby in slightly. So it's a slightly different than normal yoga classes teach. And then exhale, round the spine and look down towards the knees, right? So now you move with your breath. You inhale to look up, and then you exhale to round. And since this is the day of the throat chakra, definitely when you look up, you can open that throat a little more. One more round here. Inhale, look up, and exhale to round. And coming back to a nice neutral position, we're gonna just extend the one foot, maybe your right foot, back, keeping the toes on the ground first, because we want to feel a nice stretch here and strengthening and be supported by the ground, right? We're pushing away from the ground. That's gonna protect our shoulders, as well as we're, even pushing away from the ground with our foot. Now, if this feels like, hey, I feel super strong in this pose, then yeah, pick up your foot. Get a little bit of more strength in here. Get a little more fire. And if this feels like you could hold this, then you pick up that opposite arm. But if you have any shoulder, issues or this bothers you, then there's no need. You could even come down to your forearms, right? The whole point of this is getting a little more spinal length, a little more strength, but ultimately just to get a little more heat in our body. So as we do more openings, our bodies will be ready. One more inhale here. Then exhale, come back towards the all fours and give yourself a cat-cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale and around. And back to neutral. And before we go on to our other side, I want to come down to the forearms, right? Keeping the hips above our knees. This is like a variation of puppy dog, but it also just allows that heart to open up a little bit more without putting so much pressure on our wrists. And if you want to let that forehead come to the ground, if that feels relaxing to you, you can. If it feels better to keep it a little lifted, it's totally up to you. One more breath here. And exhale. All right, let's go ahead and come back to all fours. So put the hands back, and we'll do one more cat-cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale and around. And back to all fours. We'll extend the left leg out, or the opposite, right? We just want to make sure we give each a turn. And before you lift it, make sure you push away from the earth. That's going to activate the shoulders as well as the whole leg. And then if that feels good, just like you did on the other side, go ahead and start lifting those limbs, right? Get a little heat building. Nice. Yeah. And just one more full breath here. And exhale, release. And coming back on our forearms, just one last time with our hips above our knees. All right. So here's the tricky part. We're going to see how we are. So I actually did a prenatal yoga class when I was 40 weeks pregnant with my first, and it was my most challenging yoga class ever. But what I want us to do is we're on forearms, our hips, and we're going to put our toes on the ground and lift our hips. This is called dolphin, but it should be a little bit easier on that upper back and allow it to stretch out a little more. It's also one of like the best poses to get the baby in the right position when you're nearing the end of pregnancy. But boy, it can be challenging if you're not used to doing it. Nice. Yeah, looking super good, ladies. All right, let's go ahead and put those knees back down. Come back up on the hands, push away from the earth. And one last time, we'll look up for our cat and round. And back to neutral we'll go. And this time we will just pick one leg, your favorite leg, and place it in front here. So right next to those hands, and come up on those hands. Let's get off our hands. So we're just in a nice deep lunge here. And here we'll inhale, we'll raise our arms up. And then we'll exhale, we'll bend those elbows. So we'll get in a nice little cactus arms. I'm in the desert, so this is what, cactus arms are. And then with our gaze, I'd actually like your gaze to be slightly above the horizon so that you're, keeping that throat area open, that communication. Nice. And this is such a good stretch, like for the psoas muscle, that quadricep. It's wonderful for many things during pregnancy if you can be able to release this muscle regularly. One more breath here. And exhale, lift the arms. Nice. And then I want you to do an open twist. So whatever leg is open, turn towards that leg and just open those arms. So just a quick open twist. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, we'll just take the knee to meet the other one. So now we're just on both knees here. Not a big deal, right? And we're just going to switch out our legs. So one leg comes up. And we're getting that nice psoas stretch. We'll inhale the arms high. And exhale, bend the elbows. Nice, Jessie. I like the carrying pose. That's beautiful. Yeah. When you have a toddler, any way you can get a little yoga in is better, right? It works out and they enjoy it. All right, inhale, bring the arms up. And then just like you did on the other side, open that up. Exhale. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, go ahead and you come to a standing position. So, maybe you put your hands on the ground, whatever feels best for you, but we'll move our blanket out of the way. And we'll come up to the front of our mats. And we'll start with just rocking back and forth. So rock up on the toes and back, up and back. And just like in life, like a solid foundation, it matters. We sometimes have like pain in our shoulders or pain in our hips, and it all starts from our feet. And so rather than just focus on one area, just like, your body is so interconnected, we want to make sure we touch every area. And that's, of course, the same with, right, when we get into the mind too, but okay, so we rocked up and forth, and now we're going to go right and left. Okay, so this is slightly different, slightly the same, but we want to find our center point, and that's where we want to hang out for a moment. Now lift all 10 toes off the ground, but keep your whole foot on the ground, and try your best. It's just a challenge to put one toe down at a time. And when you do this, what usually happens is the arches of our foot, they lift, which is a good thing. But that means if we don't tend to lift our arches normally, some of the other legs in our muscles in our legs fire. Okay, good thing. Moving on, we'll come to our hips and place our hands on our hips, roll the shoulders back and down the spine. Cool. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, rotate the body and open the arms. Inhale, raise the arms back up. And exhale, rotate the body and open the arms. Inhale, back up. Now exhale, start to bend and hinge at those hips and come all the way towards the ground. But you can keep your hands on your thighs. You can find a pillow if you want a more lift. Just try your best to keep that spine lengthening. And then exhale, go ahead and heel toe your feet so they're as wide as the mat. Nice. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hinge forward. And then inhale, walk those hands up, come all the way back up. All right, we're gonna add on from here. So heel toe those feet back together, or probably hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider to make space for baby. So let's rock back up and forth. Find that neutral ground, right and left. And here we go. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, open and rotate. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, rotate. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinging at the hips, coming forward and placing our hands on our thighs to extend the spine. Maybe slight bend in those knees so you can really lift the hips and the tailbone to the sky. Nice stretch in the back of the legs. Exhale, just release the whole body. Heel toe those feet as wide as the mat. Inhale with our hands on our thighs and extend the spine. And then exhale, walk the hands, walk your body all the way back up. And heel toe our feet closer together. Okay, we're gonna do it one last time, but this time I want you to first touch your lower back, okay? And what happens as our belly starts really growing is that we tend to, a lot of women you see like, they're like leaning back to kind of compensate, and they may even be waddling. And so what we want to do is we want to put our hands on our lower back and we want to breathe into that area, which is actually going to, you know, even hug baby in a little bit. And we want to remind ourselves this is what we want to feel like. We don't want to, you know, overcompensate on some muscles, but we want to use what we've been given by protecting that lower spine. All right, so keeping that same like feedback in your head, we'll go ahead and release our arms and try one more round. Inhale, expand the hands to the sky. Exhale, rotate and open. Inhale, extend. Exhale and open. Inhale, extend. And exhale, go ahead and hinge forward, hands on those thighs, extend the spine, bend the knees slightly, look straight down at the ground, maybe towards your toes. And then exhale, release, walk the heel toes out to the width of the mats. Inhale, hands on our thighs, extend the spine. And exhale, walk all the way back up. All right, heel toe back together, and now we're going to actually enter our flow. Here we go. Inhale, come up with those arms. Exhale, rotate to the right or left. Inhale, expansion, and exhale, rotate. Inhale, expand. Exhale, find your thighs with those hands, extend the spine. And exhale, we'll go ahead and take those hands to the ground, come back to just really briefly a cat-cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Tuck the toes. Take your hips to the sky. We're not going to be here long, so bend one knee and bend the other just to feel where it is. And then walk the hands to the feet. Nice. Walk the hands up to the thighs, extend the spine. Big inhale, and then come all the way up. Perfect. Choose your favorite foot and place it forward. Your feet should be the width of the mat, so you're not on a tight rope. You have a nice wide stance. And then bend that front knee so you feel a nice stretch in the back leg. And here's where you want to just play with your pelvis really quick. So hands on your hips where your pelvis is. And if you try to tuck it or untuck it, you'll feel a slightly different sensation, right, in where the stretch is at. And what you want to imagine is that, I guess the space between, really, it's called the perineum, it should be pointing into the ground. And that space is what, between the vagina and the anus. That's the area that if your pelvic was in a nice neutral position, it's pointing directly down. So here's where we are. Once you find it or somewhere close, hold that stretch. Inhale those arms high. And then exhale, open up. So you're in a nice warrior two here. Open hips. And we'll inhale, we'll let the back arm come to our back leg as we lift the top arm. And exhale, extend forward and lift the back arm up. So this is just a nice little flow here. Just like we did seated, we're gonna go from right to left. And you can flow with your breath, one movement. And really pushing away from the ground with our legs. And feeling this nice opening we're creating. Nice. Perfect. We'll just do one more round on each side. And coming back to a nice neutral, hands extended. We'll lengthen the front leg. We've been there a while. And we'll slowly just heel toe those feet and come back to a nice standing position and shake it out before we go to our other side. All right, we're gonna take a slight detour here just because I think it's so important. Yoga is so much more than physical, you know. Physical, we can just do the postures, but by giving just a brief moment in between, we provide a little space and time to feel the difference, right? Feel what we've created. So when we take this detour, we're gonna take our feet maybe a little slightly wider than hip distance, and we're gonna make some big hip circles here, right? Now notice one leg may feel a little more open than the other, maybe not, I don't know. I kind of feel it on that right side. That was a really nice hip opening stretch. But you know, your body's always going in and out of, it's just changing all the time. And no doubt when you're pregnant, let's reverse those hip circles. So we just take these really nice moments, you know, going from really focusing on the pose to being able to just enjoy the pose. Let's slow that down. And then before we start moving again, connect with your baby, right? And remember the reason you chose to show up. Remember what you hope to get out of it. And remember that you did this, you created this. So what we think we become, so when we just take a moment to focus on what it is we want to become, it's much more likely to happen. All right, releasing those hands, opening the eyes up. Let's come to our second full flow. So at the top of our mat, we'll inhale just like we've been doing, and exhale to rotate and open. We'll inhale the arms high, and exhale to rotate and open. We'll inhale the arms high, and then we'll exhale, we'll hinge forward and find our thighs so we can get a nice long back here, shoulders coming down. And then we'll exhale, we'll bring the hands to the ground, come to our cat-cow. Real nice and easy here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Back to neutral. Tuck those toes, lift the hips up. Nice downward dog here. And walk the hands to your feet. Inhale, halfway up, sliding the hands up the thighs. Exhale, standing all the way tall. Beautiful. Then coming all the way back up. We'll now take our opposite leg forward. I'm going to do this side. So nice wide stance here. You know, I recommend not being on a tight rope so it feels a little more stable. Bend the front knee, right? Get that nice stretch. Both hips are pointed towards that front knee. And just like we did on the other side, go ahead with your hands on your hips. Just take a moment to kind of tuck and untuck the pelvis, and you figure out for you, what is that kind of spot that just feels good on the lower back, feels good on the legs, depending on, you know, what kind of activities you've been doing recently. You could feel a deeper stretch on the leg or not. But the most important is that the whole back feels good. And once you find that spot, stay there for a moment. Inhale, raise the arms up. And then exhale, let's go ahead and open up to a nice warrior two, right? Perfect. So it feels a little bit like we're not totally aligned, and that's all okay. Let's start our inhale to extend the side. Arm lifts up. And exhale, we move forward as we grow the back arm. Inhale, coming back, we lift the top arm. And exhale to extend, giving baby a little ride, as well as creating a little more space on each of our side bodies. And one more set each side. Nice. All right, coming back up to center, we'll lengthen that front leg, and we'll just heel toe both our feet back together. Now we should feel a little more equal. Let's shake out each leg. And one of the things I really like doing in my prenatal yoga classes, a little bit of dancing, but without music, it becomes a challenge. So I just want to do, since we're a little more warm, I want to do a little balance / dancing by picking one knee up and opening it. So just one knee crosses and opens. It doesn't have to be called dancing. It can just be called lifting one leg and opening it. But I think birth is like a perfect opportunity, and being pregnant, to really tap into more of the primal state, or just how the body is meant to be. I mean, it's truly a miracle to be able to grow life inside you. So I invite you to kind of let your body move as it wants. If you want to add some twists, if you want to not, balance and just kind of go right and left, right? Bending one knee and then the other, but figure out what you need. And as we do this is kind of like our stamina, right? We're getting a little more blood flow to our bodies. It's almost like nonstop movement. Maybe you're carrying your toddler, even better, right? Your heart rate's going to go up for sure. And then you can even maybe get a little wider stance, and then bend one knee and then bend the other. And even taking the shoulders back. We've done quite a bit of shoulder work today, so rolling them back. And just getting into any spot that we haven't really touched yet by making more of a fluid motion here. Perfect. And then we'll take our hands down to our thighs and get a little bit of more of a goddess, I guess, position here. But again, we're still moving fluidly. Oh, we can maybe lift up one heel and then the other, right? Perfect. So I like to call it not a contraction, these waves of expansion. They're just moments. They last for maybe a minute, maybe 90 seconds, and then they're gone. And that's same when you get into some of these challenging poses. My quads right now are screaming at me. I teach senior fitness, and we did a lot of squats yesterday. But I have to remind myself it's just sensation, A, and B, if I can just take 3 breaths, really slow, really deep. 1, 2, 3. It'll be over before I know it. Lengthen the legs. Nice. And then the last thing, with our now toes pointed more forward, is we'll get creative with these figure 8s. So the hip goes back and comes back, and then it crosses through the center and goes up. So these, you want to bend your knees and make a figure 8 with your mind. And sometimes it helps me to close my eyes, because otherwise I look and I get really a little bit more confused. But the whole point is we're bending our knees to take our whole body in a figure 8. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now let's inhale, take both arms to the sky. Exhale, just like we've been doing, rotate and open. Inhale up. And then exhale, rotate and open. And then inhale, last time coming up. And exhale, open those arms back down. Roll the shoulders up and down just a few times. And while we're standing here, you may bring your feet a little closer together. Depends what feels the best for you. But what we're going to do here is we're going to bend our knees, bend both knees, get a little loose with it. And then we're going to inhale our arms up. And exhale, one arm comes in front, one in behind, okay? And it makes a little twist. So we go inhale up, exhale, twist. And you're in charge of how high those arms raise and how fast you go. I tend to bend on the twist because that protects my lower back. But this is like almost the best thing you can do for the whole spine. Twisting, right, is great for digestion and fluid and movement, but it's also good for like feeling good, because that spine, sometimes the way we walk, the way we sit, the way we stand, it gets tighter in some spots. So it's super important to just kind of work the entire spine in a way that feels nice. Cool, yeah, own it. You want to go higher, you want to go faster, you want to go slower? This is your time to feel good. Perfect. And we'll slow this down. Nice. And then we'll cross our arms in front. One arm comes in top and then the other. And go ahead and interlace your fingers and take them behind your head, okay? Now remember, we worked on the lower back, we breathed into it, so don't lose your posture that we worked so hard on creating. But with your hands behind your head, start to look up, shoulders open. It doesn't have to be far, it maybe is a millimeter. We're just getting a slight stretch in the back of the head, as well as our throat to come open. And our hands are just there to kind of hold the head, right? Provide a little more support, but as well as keep those shoulders open. Nice. Exhale, release. Take the arms down. Give your wrists a little love. We were on our wrists a lot earlier, so we just want to check in. And exhale, return the other way. Beautiful. And then open, shut, open, shut, open, shut. Okay, so we're going to come down to the ground. But if you have a pillow or a blanket handy, that may be helpful. Because what we're going to be doing here, probably take one blanket, one pillow, is coming all the way down to the ground. You know, as your belly grows, you can't really lay on your stomach that much, but or you don't want to, right? You don't want to put weight on baby. But how do we get into this cobra without, without putting weight on baby? Well, these bolsters are super helpful if you have a bolster or a big pillow, because you can put them under your thighs. But even if I stack both my blankets, that should help. And what I want to do is I'm going to come put my thighs are going to be on my pillows or my blankets. And I'm going to bend my elbows and come down on my forearms. The bigger the belly is, the higher the thighs need to be, right, in order to carry the weight. But if you're just newly pregnant, you don't even need that high. But here we go. So now look straight ahead with your forearms on the ground. And I want you to kind of almost grab the mat to really extend your spine forward. I don't really care how high your body gets, but I do want to create length here. And a slight stretch to our belly region, not too much, right? That's why we have the pillows and the blankets. And even if we need to put a pillow or blanket underneath our hands, that's totally okay. But we're just getting a slight stretch here, and maybe we look up if it feels good for our head and neck, but if not, we just look down. And again, we use our hands to really lengthen our spine, like we pull our body through our hands almost, just to get a little more length. Nice. And then when you're ready, use the strength of those arms to come back up and sit on your heels. Roll the shoulders up and back, up and back. Perfect. And while we're here, taking a little nice break, let's go ahead and take one arm up, bend the elbow, and then take the other arm for that nice tricep stretch. So it's not everything we do here, your body's already taken it to the edge by the fact that you're pregnant. We're just kind of, we're not taking our body to the edge, we're just kind of giving our body some nice things to do to rebalance and to be in its best self. You got to believe that, especially with such a miracle like life being created inside you, that your body knows what to do to feel good. But I think sometimes we get in the way. I think sometimes we try different things. Maybe we get so distracted by other things that are happening, or we don't believe it. Inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, take our hands down. Roll the shoulders. So I think the best thing, and this is like so much easier said than done, I think this is like you have to just trust that, you know, you are exactly where you should be. Everything's great. Inhale, bring the arms up. Let's take the other opposite elbow. But more important than that is like, I think the expectation that, you know, that how you're supposed to be, I think that's what we got to let go. And we hold on to, you know, this is who we are, this is who I am. I mean, the same love, this unconditional love that we give our babies, we give ourselves too. I think that's the secret to a happy pregnancy, a happy motherhood, is that just that grace and understanding that all's okay. All right, exhale, bring those arms down. Roll the shoulders out, and we're going to take one more back bend here. So just like we did before, you have your pillows stacked. Maybe you know, depending on how big belly is, it may be higher. But we're going to come on, our thighs are going to touch the pillows and blankets. And we're going to come on those forearms, and we're going to extend the spine. Just 1-2 breaths here. And if you're not feeling it right now, we'll stay here for another couple breaths. But if you're not feeling it and you still want to work those same groups, even if you're seated, maybe even taking your hands behind you, or even just looking up, you're going to get that same chest opening that we're focusing on. But if you're with me, we'll take one more breath here. And then we'll exhale, walk the hands back up. If you're seated, walk the hands back up. And we'll all meet in a nice cross-legged position here. Okay. Kind of coming full circle. Round out that body, round when you go back, open when you come front. Nice fluid clasp for us. We open the throat, we open the heart, whole body. And then reverse that. Nice. Cool. And I usually like to end very similar to how we begun, and that's because when you revisit something later, it may feel different. So let's take those rainbow arms. It may feel the same. I mean, gosh, both options are totally possible. But this is not for you to just move mindlessly because we've been here before. But it's a chance for you to say, hey, how do I feel? Do I feel different? Do I feel the same? How does baby feel? Although, for the record, I could never feel what baby felt until they put monitors on during labor. And I was like, the baby, that hurts the baby. So, truth be told, it's different for all of us. Ah. All right, slowing it down, one more on each side. Nice, perfect. And let's go ahead and inhale, raise those arms up. And exhale, nice open twist here. So maybe one hand's on that outer knee. Inhale to expand, exhale to twist a little deeper. And then coming back to center, we'll go the opposite direction, up and around. Nice. And coming back to center, one more inhale up, exhale, hands to heart center. And bring one hand on your heart, one hand on the baby. Close those eyes, full circle. Approaching, we're turning the corner of this class. Gentle beginning, non-stop movement. And focusing on the reason we chose to show up today. How we want to leave feeling. And sending all that love, all that goodness that we possibly can towards that growing life. Exhale, release the arms. And now here's your neck. Gets to just roll comfortably over to one side and back to the other. Nice. Rotating one way, one direction, and then the other. And then this time we'll rotate it around and we'll stay here for just one more moment as we let that side stretch out. If you need a little more, you can extend that hand away from your head. Maybe even rest it on the ground. And then pulling it back in, rotating the neck all the way around. And taking our opposite side. If you want to extend that hand like you did, great. But again, there's no right or wrong way. It's just your way. Exhale, bring the arm back in. Let the head and neck just look down. Basically closing our throat chakra. And then exhale and look up. All right, coming back to neutral. So we're gonna, if you have a chair or a wall, we're gonna do a little bit of legs up the wall or legs up the chair. So now would be a good time to get, or legs up the couch, right? I mean, it doesn't, all our options. But what we want to do is give ourselves a little cushion here to take away any risk of crushing that vena cava. And Jesse, if you don't want to be on your back today, if you just want to like lean against a couch so you get a little more back support, that would probably feel good. But for the rest of us, we'll come down, lying on our sides, and take our feet up. And just give ourselves a moment to not only get our feet above our head, but just to, like, even though we've stopped moving, there's still so much life not only growing inside us, and the oxygen, and letting it all flow through. And your hands can be on baby. You can open them up like cactus arms if you feel like you want to get a little more of a chest opener. But wherever you are, we'll just be here for a couple moments, and enjoy this peace that you've created, this space, this opening. And if at any time this doesn't feel good for you, get out of it, right? What we're trying to do right now is give our body a restorative pose, something that feels like we could stay in for a few moments so that we can reap all the benefit of all that nonstop movement we just did. But in order to do that, we've got to relax the body first and then the mind. And if the mind starts racing with your to-do lists, with where you came from, with what you gotta go to, breathe a little deeper and follow that breath. Visualize how that breath's entering, where it's going in your body, how it's, exchanging with, the placenta, with baby, with what's inside, and how it comes back out. Because when you focus on your breath, gosh, it's almost impossible to focus on anything else. And what we'll try to do the last minute or so that we're here is do some even breathing. Even breathing is oftentimes a nervous system reset when you can count the number of inhales and it equals the number of counts that you exhale. So we're going to just start with 3. We'll try it together at first. So we'll inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 2, 3. Nice. And maybe now that we've slowed down, maybe baby's a little more active. That's not uncommon. You can stay here for the remainder of our Shavasana, or you can bring your feet down and come to your side. Or even if you're used to laying on your back still, go ahead and come to your back. But get into a position, maybe use your pillows and blankets to get that much more comfortable. Like a blanket between the leg or pillow can feel really nice. But get to a spot that you can, just feels good to you. In general, and wherever you choose, let those eyes close again and come back to that equal breathing, right? Keeping you in the moment, watching that with your, it's not really, you're not watching, you're kind of pretend watching the air come into your body, in that throat area we've worked hard on opening.
I actually have to leave early tonight. My kid just got herself stuck in the table, so.
Oh no, Jessie. Well, thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week.
You too. What class number is this?
This is number 5.
Oh, it is 5. Okay, because I know I missed like 2 of them already. So, all right.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And continuing with our breath for just another moment. And then just letting that breath go to whatever natural state it wants to be, not worrying about the counts, not worrying about anything. And we'll just welcome to relaxation. May we be at peace. May our hearts remain open. May we know the beauty of our own true nature. May we be healed, and may we be a source of healing in this world. We'll just stay here for another moment or 2, so I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Enjoy the space that you've created. And just like that, It's time to move. Wiggle the toes, the fingers. Tell your body it's time to get going. And maybe take one last whole body stretch before coming to your side and joining me in a seated position. All right, let's just unmute us for just a second. All right. The mama in me totally honors the mama in you. Thank you for making time for you and baby and taking care of you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stop.